Headquartered in Lansing, Triterra has been creating healthier communities throughout Michigan since 2008. Their expertise in brownfield development, environmental consulting, and natural resource management needs provides practical solutions for developers, property owners, and governmental entities. For responsive service tailored to your best interests, call the Triterra team at 517-702-0470 or visit triterra.us. Welcome to another installation of the Conversations from Mackinac series of Michigan Reimagined with Chris Buck. This special session is sponsored generously by Triterra and the Gillespie Group. I'm your host, Chris Buck, and I'm here now with the State Director and CEO of the Michigan Small Business Development Association, or SBDC. Not Association. Center. I knew that. My goodness. SBDC, Small Business Development Center, Mr. J.D.Collins. J.D., thanks for joining me here today.
Chris, thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. So I know what the SBDC does, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. But for our team that doesn't know, what is the mission of the SBDC?
So the mission of the SBDC is to help all entrepreneurs in our state grow their idea or their business. And so we focus on entrepreneurs and small businesses. We do it throughout the entire state. And then we have some specialty teams as well that help with tech commercialization for those who have ideas or patents that they want to bring to market.
Wow.
And then for growth stage businesses, we also have services for them because it's pretty typical that businesses that are growing have certain pain points, and we're able to help in those areas. Now, here's the kicker.
Yeah.
The best part is we do all of our work at no cost. And that's because we're supported by the state, we're supported by the feds, and we're hosted by universities who also throw in their support for us as well.
And they house you.
Yes,
in a lot
exactly.
of places, right? So the SBD, you're the state director. I mentioned that on the way in, but you have chapters around the state.
Yes. And so we divide the state into the 10 regions of prosperity.
Yep.
And in each region of prosperity, we have a host institution. So in West Michigan, it's Grand Valley State University. In the Upper Peninsula, it's MTU, Michigan Tech.
Got it.
And so that's how we divide up the state by those prosperity zones, and there's a host in each one of those. And so wherever you are in the state of Michigan, you're probably pretty close to an SBDC.
Exactly. Yep. We're Region 7 in Lansing, and you're hosted by Lansing Community College,
Exactly.
which is a phenomenal institution in our community.
And let's talk a little bit about LCC. They are a fantastic host for us. They have been a longstanding host for us and is one of our stronger regions of the SBDC. They're fantastic.
Are they all in higher education kind of facilities or semi-affiliations?
They're either in universities or community colleges throughout the entire state.
Wonderful. Okay, great. And you already hit me with the punchline that this is a free service. So my question when I talked to Tom,
entrepreneurs really like that.
Yeah, right, exactly. But my guess would be that you'd be absolutely bursting at the seams, that people would be knocking your doors down. Are you choked out from capacity standpoint? To me, I think you're one of the best kept secrets. So that's why I want you and your teammates from around the state to come on to bang the drum that all these services are available, because I see businesses that aren't thriving the way they should. I see businesses that don't have a succession plan. I see startups landing on the wrong foot to get going and paying for the same kind of services that you provide for free. So how is your funnel, and do you feel like you should be busier, or are you getting the people that need to use you or finding you?
The answer is complex, and so I apologize for this answer, but it's a little bit of a depends. We saw a massive growth in people reaching out to the SBDC for support during the pandemic. We went from supporting about 6,000 small businesses to over 10,000. And we've plateaued right now at about 9,700 over the last few years. And so that's a lot of businesses who are knocking on our door every year asking for help. On the flip side of that comes the funding. And so there's the supply and demand side of this. And we are state funded, federally funded, and those have been pretty consistent. And so it pains me to hear you say that we're the best kept secret, but we're also right now capacity constrained. We can't handle a lot more clientele than we have, but we're really grateful that we are able to handle and support so many. That 9,700 number is something I never imagined we'd get to.
Right.
But we're so happy and proud to be able to help so many.
And I'm not trying to diminish your efforts or your branding and any of that kind of stuff. I did small business consulting after I left my corporate executive gig, and found these small businesses really floundering with some stuff, and then discovered the SBDC because I was sucked into this corporate America gig. And met Tom Donaldson, who is now, I know, doing things a little differently than he was, not running the Mid-Michigan SBDC chapter, but phenomenal guy. And he explained, as I was actually learning, I'm like, my clients should be going to you not me, or in addition to me.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the makeup of what makes up the SBDC. Is we have about 115 consultants throughout the state. Those 115 consultants typically have had some type of business experience before they come to us. And so this is a second or third career. And so we have these executive level consultants that are there to help and support the entrepreneurial efforts of so many around the state. And so you're really getting expert help at no cost because these people have decided and chosen to support the communities that they live in, and they really have that altruistic spirit.
So if someone knocked on the SBDC's door because either they're planning to do something or they've done something and they're realizing they're not thriving the way they were hoping and realize there's corners they need to look around, how do they engage with the SBDC and start that relationship?
Sure, there's multiple ways, but the very best way is to go to our website, which is michigansbdc.org. And at our website, you can sign up for services. I also recommend that people look at the services that we offer and see if they're right for them. If they're on the edge, sign up, because if we can't help you, we typically have a partner where we can refer you to that'll get you the help that you need. And so we really kind of feel like we're a hub and spoke system here in the state.
Got it.
So many start their journey with us. Sometimes we're the right ones to help. If not, we can get them to the right people.
Got it. And I also, just my own personal observations, it sounds like there is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one-on-one kind of services. I am looking to open a bakery, and I have this business plan, or help me formulate my business plan, and how do I get a light, all that kind of commercial kitchen, all those kind of. So there's one-on-one stuff, but then if I'm not mistaken, you also host events that either your staff, for lack of a better term, or even business leaders from the community may host a 30-person, to a group of people that are looking to do something similar, or just best practices. How do I hire salespeople, or how do I pick the right POS machine, or whatever that might be, right?
Yep.
They pick topics like that, right?
There are topics like that. And in addition to what you just mentioned as well, we have some consistent topics that we teach on a regular basis. Typically on a monthly basis, we'll host something called Know Your Numbers. One of those key blind spots that so many entrepreneurs have is they don't know how to read or understand their balance sheet or their cash flows and whatnot. And so we have a monthly program that they can join, and they can understand how to read their cash flow statements and whatnot. And so there are monthly programs that we offer, typically by Zoom. People can join, and those are really well attended. I think we had 10,000 attendees to those monthly webinars last year.
Nice. Founded over 30 years ago, Gillespie Group is a full-service residential and commercial real estate firm based in Lansing, Michigan. With an eye to the future, Gillespie Group is fueled by strategic development with a passion to find creative solutions for real estate development needs. Known for the ability to visualize new energetic spaces that breathe life into spaces and community, Gillespie continues to use its resources to initiate the transformation within the communities it works in. Learn more at gillespie-group.com. Now, I'm a certified economic developer and commercial real estate and recovering business executive. So, but the economic development side, each of these regional prosperity, the prosperity regions has an EDO, right? So Grand Rapids has the right place. You have LEAP. You've got,
all great partners.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So they all tend to become benefactors of stewards of cash, and they have different ways for small businesses to tap into that, whether they're grants or whether they're pitch competitions for startups and those kinds of things. I would imagine you're a conduit. You talk about the hub and spoke.
Correct.
That's got to be a big part of your kind of referral. Hey, you are a good candidate for something you may not be aware of that's out there.
I'm glad you said that, because it is really important to know that we don't offer any grants or lending, but we are very close partners with those who do. And so a very consistent referral that we'll get is a bank will reject a small business but like their idea. They will often refer them to the SBDC to help get their business plan in shape, and then they'll be bankable after that.
Right.
And that happens in multiple different referral sources. And like you said, the EDOs are a major one.
Right, right. And one of the things when I was doing small business support, was realizing that a lot of these maybe not even quite second stage companies, but they started with their, my cousin's wife is a CPA, and this person does accounting and this person does banking, but their business never evolves. It's like, wow, they're doing $2 million in revenue and they've got 25 employees, but they're still using Manny's House of Numbers to file their taxes every year. And so a lot of my conversations were, you need to elevate your game on, financial planners and CPAs and accountants and attorneys, HR consultants. If you're not going to have anyone on staff, find someone who's going to keep you out of prison, for making sure you don't violate some laws or rules that you don't know about. I would imagine you're a conduit that can maybe help point people in those directions or observe those challenges too.
Yeah, the situation you just mentioned is very commonplace amongst the growing small businesses out there.
Right.
And so we have a team that's dedicated to those businesses that are in that growth stage. And we even developed our own program called Focus 4. And Focus 4 really divides up those growth stages, those growth pains that a entrepreneur will go through, and helps them kind of manage their way through it. How to create that team around you so that you're working on the business and not in the business.
Right. Yep, for sure. Now I hear MEDC and budgets, and their budgets getting cut. And I talked to hear Amy Hovey talking yesterday at MISHDA, talking about how her annual funding sometimes comes with, it has to have these components to it or not have. You seem really stable in my estimation. That because you're free service provider,
right?
Yet you have this infrastructure and costs associated with it. I never really get the sense that you're sweating next year's, are we still going to stay in business, or are they going to tie my hands? Am I wrong, or do you have a magic formula?
There's a little beat of sweat right now.
Sorry, did I just jinx you?
No, not at all. So I can say that the SBDC and our services, we're kind of like the golden retrievers of the economic development world. We are bicameral, we're typically the good news police, and everybody loves to see us coming. With that, the state, the federal, and university budgets are all under stress, and we're feeling some of that as well.
Okay.
And so I will say that we are the common good. A lot of people like to support us, and so we're very fortunate to be in the position that we are and to be able to offer the services that we can then show our work, because we bring the receipts when it comes time to show the benefit that we have to entrepreneurs and small businesses.
Got it. And is there anything here at this particular conference that you're either advocating or selling in the halls, or topics that are being discussed that you're paying, specific, attention to?
Right, and I'm going to try to sway from politics a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think right now, if you look around, the MEDC is under a tremendous amount of pressure right now.
Yep.
And we are here to support the idea that Michigan has a very solid foundation and history of doing economic development well. And we are the envy of many other states. And so we're trying to get the message out about the work that we do, of course, at the SBDC, but also to support the state as a whole, our community colleges, the MEDCs, the universities as a whole, to show the good work that we do in economic development. We've had a number of great conversations leading up to this, and this is just a way for us to emphasize the benefit of the SBDC and having a really strong SBDC. And I'm gonna put in a little selfless plug. And I know,
please,
at the Collins household, we say that self-praise is no praise. But we have a really good SBDC here in the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Nationally, we're kind of known as one of the top 3. And that's because we have this long-standing history of being successful, which makes us easy to support. And that's just kind of the self-fulfilling prophecy that we have then.
Well, it's under your leadership, J.D. How long have you been affiliated?
8 years.
8 years? Okay.
8 years.
And what's your path? Where were you before this?
I did the corporate gigs for a while.
Yep.
I then found a real joy in being an entrepreneur. Had a couple disastrous failures, had a couple great successes, but then really found later in life my joy in helping the entrepreneur on their journey. And this was an way for me to amplify that times 9,760 last year.
Yeah, there you go. And I got to tell you, that is the entrepreneur story, right? I mean, I haven't met an entrepreneur yet who is not giving of their story. Here's a mistake. Here are the top 5 mistakes that I made. That and where you are in your path, whatever you do, don't do this.
Well, there's a new podcast series in that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, that's fantastic. I mean, just such great work. I really appreciate everything that you do. Is there? Remind me of the website again.
MichiganSBDC.org.
Okay, that's easy to find. Mm-hmm. You can go there, find the chapter. That'll obviously drive them if they're listening in Kalamazoo or Saginaw or Traverse City. They'll find their chapter.
Wherever you are in the state of Michigan, there's an SBDC there to help you.
That's fantastic. And all services are free. Business planning, best practices on all kinds of stuff.
You got it.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we've been talking to the state director and CEO of the Michigan Small Business Development Center.
Thank you.
For Michigan, and J.D. Collins. Fantastic conversation. Big fan of the brand. Really will share your story any chance that I get. I've had your local affiliate on a number of times. And I want to thank again our sponsors, Triterra and the Gillespie Group, for putting me here on beautiful Mackinac Island. Stay tuned for the next session of Michigan Reimagine Conference, Mackinac Policy Conference 2026.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. You guys did it.